Indie Soul Rhythms with Moochie Alfonso, bringing you the very best in indie soul.
Hi, this is Ali Starr, hanging out with soul brother Moochie Alfonso on Indie Soul Rhythms. It's got to be the grooviest show on the planet. Keep it locked in.
Welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms. Today, we are delighted to have Lancashire-born singer, pianist, composer, songwriter, and arranger, Philippa Healey. Philippa, it's wonderful to have you here.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful to be here. That was quite a mouthful, wasn't it, Moochie?
Well, I think I'm getting used to it now, having to introduce different artists. Everybody has a different, accolades to their names. So it's wonderful. And I know you were recently on a cruise. How did that go?
Oh, it was great. Thank you. Actually, we performed one of my original songs that I haven't done before, which has got quite cheeky lyrics about a character that I devised, an older woman who is kind of looking for a younger man. And to be honest, the women in the audience just absolutely loved it.
Can you tell us more about your journey and how each step has shaped your career?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to give you my entire life story, obviously, but I was always completely addicted to music, and so I was very lucky because my parents sacrificed and they gave me this incredible musical education. Like you've just said, I was at Cheatham's for several years as a teenager, and I just loved it. I did end up in the West End, but that was kind of by accident because, to be honest, singing was just my party trick that I kind of did on the side. I was all set to be a composer for film, TV, video games, that kind of thing. That was very much the path I was going down. But I basically just worked out that people were throwing money at me to sing stuff, and I just thought, well, this is easy.
Oh, wow.
And I got a bit sidetracked, I think, and ended up in the West End. It was all very glamorous and everything, but as a writer, I never quite felt that all the boxes were ticked for me. It was just never quite utilizing my passions and what I can bring to music.
Right.
I know it's the holy grail for some people, and quite rightly, to be in the West End. That's a lifelong ambition, and it's great. But I'm sure you can understand, Moochie, when you're actually a writer deep down, you want to be doing your own stuff.
Absolutely.
No disrespect to the composers of Les Mis, of course. Not that they really need my blessing. I'm sure they're doing pretty well.
Just touching a little bit more on your time performing in Les Mis. Can you share some highlights from your time in the West End and how that has influenced your career?
Well, yeah, sure. The highlight for me was just performing for my family when they managed to come down to London and see me. They came down from Manchester and they would bring friends or other family members, and that was the highlight, really. Just because they'd sacrificed, my parents in particular had sacrificed so much to send me to these amazing musical conservatoires and things. It was just really nice to give them something back and give them the sort of memorable life experience of getting to see their daughter on the West End stage. So that was really the most special thing of doing it, really. And then musically, well, it's not really where my heart lies, but as a performer, obviously, it's any kind of performance experience on a regular basis is going to strengthen that muscle, that performance muscle. It's good. But I remember, Moochie, we had another conversation, didn't we? And I said to you, there's actually the rubbish gigs where you learn more, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because when it's handed to you on a silver platter and you're on the West End stage and you're signing the autographs afterwards and you get given the flowers and it's all
Yeah.
very kind of la-di-da, that's great. But I think I learned far more from having the tough crowds, when there's people on the front row kind of going, right, I don't know who this is, but come on, entertain me.
Yeah.
You learn so much more
Yes.
from that kind of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah. So how do you describe the music that you make?
Well, I would probably use terms like funk, neo soul, acid jazz.
Right.
I would use those terms, but I have put those terms on my social media, and I get the odd person coming along going, "This isn't funk" or "This isn't acid jazz." So I'm just thinking, well, I don't know how to categorize it exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's easier if I tell you my influences, because you can hear a lot of Stevie Wonder. You
Yeah.
can hear a lot of Steely Dan. I
Yeah.
love Donald Fagen, particularly. I'm obsessed with his back catalogue. Um, I've been told that there's a lot of Herbie Hancock, Lewis Cole. He's a very contemporary artist who I adore. So
Hmm.
these are people who are clearly, I can't help but give off some of their kind of flavors in the
Yeah.
way that I'm writing. Maybe that gives you a more accurate picture, because I get told off when I try to
Yeah, well,
categorize
for,
it.
for me it does because I've listened to some of your music, but I was just asking this question for the benefit of our listeners. Um, and so that takes us nicely to your new single, "I Used to Be
Mm,
Fun."
mm.
Can you talk us through what that song is about and what inspired it?
Oh, yes. Well, I love this song because it really does come from the heart. I mean, first of all, I wanted to go for a very kind of sensual, seductive sound. So that's why it has this medium groove, but a very heavy kind of blues feel to it.
Yeah,
And of course, I can't write anything unless it has very juicy jazz chords in it. So, there's plenty of those around. Um, and then the lyrics, it is actually a very flirty but very honest love letter to my partner, who, he and I have been together for nearly 13 years, and we have two beautiful children together.
mm,
And to be perfectly honest, it's me saying to him, look, I know I'm not the kind of raging hormonal man-eating whatever what I was in the early days, but
yeah,
I promise that she's still in there somewhere. So
yeah,
if we do have the chance, and the stars are aligned, and I'm actually like,
yeah,
green light is on, then we should just go for it.
yeah.
And I've been told that it's very relatable for people, particularly parents.
Yes.
The whole concept of "I used to be fun," it's something that a lot of people find scarily accurate.
Your journey is truly inspiring. What projects are you currently working on, and what can we expect from you in the future or in 2024?
Well, I'm currently working on a new song um, called "Replaced by Robots," or I might call it "We'll All Be Replaced by Robots,"
Right.
which is very Prince-esque, actually. I didn't mention Prince of one of my influences, and I probably should have, because I've been
Yeah.
told by lots of people that my music has a very Prince-like vibe. I loved him growing up. And so this is it's kind of 1980s synth funk with lots of jazzy harmonies,
Yeah.
but it's surprisingly upbeat for a song that's essentially about a kind of imminent apocalypse of the
Oh,
takeover of AI. I
okay.
mean, I can't write depressing songs at this point,
Yeah.
um, but I really wanted to write something about AI, because especially musicians, we really feel that terror, I think, on some level, like what is actually going to happen. We just don't know. So I thought, well, I might as well write a catchy song about it. Well, actually, the song, just briefly, I'm taking it even further, because it's really talking about the fact that AI is now writing the songs.
Yeah.
So, will we all just be replaced if we're songwriters or musicians or any,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I'm very excited about is can I talk about my birthday gig? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on the 7th of January, Tuesday, the 7th of January, I'm going to turn 50 and I'm having a very special celebration gig with some very VIP guests joining me
Oh,
on stage. Amazing musicians, all right?
yeah.
At a secret London venue. I will give more details on my social media, but I'm very excited about that. That's going to be really epic. So, I just want to invite anyone listening, please do come along and celebrate my birthday with me on the 7th of January.
Um, Actually, every interview that I do, I like to ask a couple of fun questions, and it's nothing unbecoming. So, one of the fun questions I ask is there anyone you would trade places with for a day?
For a day,
For a day, or even for an hour or half an hour or whatever. But is there anyone in life that you think I would like to trade places with them and just experience,
probably, yeah, probably Stevie Wonder, actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And why is
Sorry, did
that?
I aim too high?
No, 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 no.
I think it would be Stevie Wonder, assuming that as part of this wish, I
Yeah,
would also be given his immense talent.
yeah.
So I would get to just enjoy that. And, even if I just stayed in the house all day
Just
playing
watching.
whatever instruments I fancied as Stevie Wonder, that would do me.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And my second question is, what's the best compliment you've ever got musically?
Oh, that is so difficult. That's really hard. That's
How come?
really hard because people are really nice, but there's
Yeah,
certain ones. I think it's when people notice things like the harmonies and the chords.
yeah.
For instance, somebody contacted me on Instagram and specifically asked me what was one of the chords over this particular lyric in I Used to Be Fun. And that I
Right.
love that someone
Yeah,
actually wanted to know because I'm obsessed with chords too, and I always have been this like massive harmony addict. So yeah, I think it would probably be that. But people are really nice about my
yeah.
singing and things like that. Um, but maybe I don't get as excited about that because, like I said, that's a bit of a party trick, if I'm honest.
Sure.
That's just something that I honestly just used to do to make my friends laugh when we were kids,
Yeah.
and it's ended up paying most of my bills.
Oh wow.
Very random.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't mean to sound ungrateful,
No,
but
no.
that's just the reality.
Yeah. And lastly, what's the worst piece of advice you've ever got?
So easy to answer this question. Okay, so when I was about 22 years old, sorry, I keep banging my computer. When I was 22 years old, I was playing and singing in a piano bar, and
Right.
a guy who said he was an agent came up to me and said I needed to wear much shorter skirts because he said basically you want the idea for all the men who come and see you to want to, have relations with you in a
Right.
certain way. He says that's what you should be aiming for. So you really need to wear shorter skirts. I think that was possibly the worst piece of
Was.
advice I've ever
Yeah,
had.
I
Yeah,
think it was.
yeah, that was classic. That was absolute classic.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, we can't wait to see what you have coming up next. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us. And any
Thank
final
you.
words you have for maybe up and coming independent artists or even to our listeners?
I would say don't be afraid to network or put yourself out there with your heroes
Yeah,
because I I've always been obsessed with the band Jamiroquai since they started 30 years ago. I've been a massive fan.
Yeah, yeah.
And I basically just contacted them and said, can I hire you to come and play on some new tracks of mine? And they
Wow.
agreed. So they are playing on I Used to Be Fun, and they're also playing on my previous release, FML. And I'm hoping to get them involved in a lot more other projects too.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to approach people and to network, because the worst that can happen is they'll just say no. But
No,
if you
exactly.
don't try, you know,
Yeah,
so it was an absolute dream to work with the Jamiroquai, basically half of the band I'm working with on this new song. So it's incredible.
amazing. Amazing. Wise words in terms of don't be afraid to ask. The worst that can
Mm,
happen, yeah, people will say no, and then what?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much again for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on Indie Soul Rhythms. But before we let you go, could you please do us an honor of introducing I Used to Be Fun?
Absolutely. And this, like I said, features my very special friends from Jamiroquai. I do hope you enjoy this. This is I Used to Be Fun.